This is me. This is called The Best Is Yet to Come. Sometimes I think, or rather, sometimes I worry. Sometimes I worry that while I'm having sex, this is something I worry about while I'm having sex. This is a worry that intrudes what ought to be an otherwise totally enjoyable time. Sometimes I worry while I'm having sex that one day I'll be driving somewhere and then a sinkhole will open up while I'm above it, and the car I am in will fall into the sinkhole and drop God knows how deep, and I'll be remembered for the rest of my life or in subsequent eulogies because I assume I would die if I fell into a sinkhole, remembered as that fag who wrote plays who died by falling into a sinkhole. I think this is funny. I think falling into a sinkhole is a funny way to die. I have always said I want to die in an objectively funny way. Here he lies, he died by slipping on a banana peel. I only get this intrusive thought about that I might one day fall into a sinkhole in the middle of sex, and yes, nearly every time it's happened, which is maybe only 4 or 5 times, the guy I am with has looked at me and said, "What are you thinking about? Where are you? Where have you gone?" And I'm incapable of lying while having sex, and I've told them, I'm thinking about how I fear one day I'll die by falling into a sinkhole. This is the Orange Terror Cycle, Part 3, Chapter 42. And, maybe we will die by falling into a sinkhole. Maybe not a literal sinkhole, a metaphor. Maybe we'll die by falling into a metaphor. Maybe we're already in the sinkhole or in the metaphor, looking up at the perfect circle of sky above, regretting what we used to have as we starve to death. Maybe America is a sinkhole. America is a sinkhole, and maybe I should move to Portugal. Moving to Portugal is something I am seriously considering if what seems like what might happen in 2 months and 2 days happens. I don't speak Portuguese, but I spent 4 days in Lisbon and think back often on those 4 days in college very fondly, and I think I would like to be the quirky American who showed up, $3, 2 bags, one me, zero Portuguese. All I know how to ask in Portuguese is, do you speak Portuguese? Which is helpful if I spoke any more Portuguese than I do, which is none. But I don't. Anyway, I've been struggling with what to talk about this time around. It's been a weird week and a weird month with a lot of weird reflection, self reflection fueled by starting back at AA. Back when I first quit drinking, I went to a few meetings and I found the first four I tried very depressing and too intense for me at that juncture. And a few weeks ago, I was talking about I was talking with a friend about how untethered I'd been feeling for the last for a while, and he suggested that a way to retime myself this time around, which is good. I have found myself thinking a lot about how far I've come from 4 years ago. And I'm positive that next month, when we've been meeting for 4 years, I'll be doing even more self-reflection. And that the month after that, when we meet on the night that will decide our future, self-reflection will be the name of the game as I try to figure out how the hell we got to wherever we are by then. Got to a point where everything that's been happening has been happening. And I hate that phrase so much. I hate when people say everything that's been. It erases the racism, the transphobia, the fascism, the botched handling of a pandemic, and people are still bowing the fuck down to him. People are still eating his shit up. It's like, here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down, and guess what? They will probably let us down, and it makes me fucking furious to know that they'll probably let us down. As much as I try to be an optimist about this shit, I am extremely terrified for the long winter ahead of us, especially if autumn signals further decay than normal. I've been doing a lot of self-reflection about how I could have done better this summer. I've been thinking about how I fucked things up in the middle of a pandemic, little things I didn't do, arguments I decided not to have because I didn't want to upset the party sitting in front of me, protests I decided to skip because of whispers of intense police action, vigils not attended in favor of applying for jobs or working on my own work, little things I didn't do because I don't do those things, because I don't know how, because I don't want to say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing, let my voice carry far and wide when I should be uplifting others' voices like I try to do in this show. Little things I could have done to have prevented the sinkhole from opening beneath me, to prevent my sky from limiting itself to the outline of the depression above me, to prevent the sinkhole from bottoming out even further and dropping me deeper, dropping us deeper beneath the surface of Earth, closer to hell, all of us waiting like the aliens in the machine, waiting for the awesome claw to drop in and save us, all of us begging to be allowed to live beyond this temporary moment of stuckness. The last 2 weeks have seen the two parties showing us how the best is yet to come. The two parties have shown us in very different ways what that means to them and how for one party the best is yet to come for all of us, and for the other, just for some. Maybe the metaphor is literal if we let the just for some folks have their way. The best is yet to come, just for some, is what they seem to be saying. and the rest will fall victim to Nazi tactics, and they will have no shame. You know, I hope to God we're lifted out of the sinkhole in 2 months and 2 days.